Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 2 of the Leetcode Day Challenge. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this one. Today we finally get a easy problem to take a break, but so I'll probably do an extra bonus question after this. So if you feel like this was too easy and you want to work on a different an extra problem, definitely check that out. And yeah, we'll have some fun, as much fun as we can have for Leetcode anyway. Today I don't know. Today is the first day I failed my workout. I'm only 3 weeks or 3.5 weeks or whatever to the marathon. Today was my strength day where I do 3 reps of 2 miles at a fast pace. So 6 miles together with some breaks in between. But I don't know. Today, I think it's funny because I talked about it like 2 days ago, right? I think some part of it is because I went too hard on Sunday just for fun. But as I say there, right? Like, there's no shame, right? As long as you go out every day, or it doesn't have to be every day, but on your scheduled days as much as you can, as much as your body or mind lets you. It's fine, right? You don't always get to choose what shows up. There are so many variables, right? I think I probably didn't sleep as well as I should have. I ran a little bit earlier. I had some stomach issues that, let's just say that it was a race to the bathroom, and I made it, but it was close. But it also kind of threw my body chemistry or whatever off, right? I don't know how it works, but I've never had that issue before, so it's good to know mentally sometimes, like how you deal with adversity, right? Like I think we go back to Leetcode a little bit, right? Like, look, if every problem is easy, then it's easy for you to do, then it's not really like you're not really pushing the envelope. You're not really chasing, and you're not really pushing yourself, right? Like, what are you doing, right? And it is kind of like that, and honestly, in some way, it is kind of like that for me for a lot of these problems. You see me solve it, and I reasonably, for the most part, get it very quickly. And it's not challenging, right? And what am I doing here? Okay, I mean, I'm doing a video and all these things, so I don't know, which some people don't like anyway. But the contest I find generally, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's okay, but it's still there's uncertainty, right? So that's kind of fun for that reason, and I just kind of do these for fun. But why I bring it up is because if I was aiming to do an easy workout, then it was going to be easy, but that's not how we get better, right? And honestly, I was starting to think whether my training was a little bit too easy, in the sense that maybe my body was in better shape than it could have been. And it still may be true. I mean, one workout doesn't invalidate everything, but it's still kind of nice to know how your body, your mind, reacts to these things. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago with Leetcode contest, right? And this is why I have these live videos instead of just explanation videos, which is fine. I mean, but they're also, you Google a problem or you YouTube search a problem, there are like 20 videos on the same problem. So why are you here, right? Why would, or like, not even why you're here, but why am I doing it, right? I'm not trying to be the same person as everyone. What I want to do is show you how someone who is, whatever my rating is, 2,700 now, someone of my rating, how I solve these problems, right? Maybe that's interesting, maybe that's not. Maybe you're trying to learn, maybe I don't teach as well sometimes, but everything is authentic, everything is real, everything you see is live. The only times I edit things out is when I leak PII, like if I leak someone, like, I don't know, some personal information or something like that. But otherwise, everything you see is live. Even my conversation now, like, it's not really planned. I just kind of, everything is live. Sometimes I do have some ideas, but it's not written ahead of time, and not by ChatGPT or something anyway. But yeah, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, right? Where it is when you struggle that you really discover who you are. This is an easy problem, so maybe not many people will get to watch this, and maybe I'll talk about it in the future again anyway. But I remember, this isn't related to Leetcode per se, but it is always a gift to discover who you are in times that because I feel like everyone has so much certainty about who they think they are, but for me, I never really feel that way. But like everyone always thinks that, oh, if this happened to me, I would do A, B, and C. But and for me, what year? I guess like it's been 6-7 years ago now. But I was doing some rock climbing thing. And it was kind of free climb, right? Like I wasn't like I wasn't whooped up or anything. If you know anything about rock climbing, I was not quite doing what what's his name, Alex Hornold or whatever. Like I was basically doing what he does, but of course very easy and low intensity. But still, I found myself in this in Portugal. It was in Lisbon. It was outside Sintra actually, where I was just like, okay. I went down a valley next to the sea. It was beautiful. It was very nice. Got some beautiful shots. But on the way back up, I realized that it wasn't easy to get up. It was just like there's some stuff like with the ropes and stuff, like not the ropes that attach to me, but just like chains and stuff that allow you to pull yourself up. They kind of just wasn't working, or they're not attached, right? And what I mean by that is that, and this is a long story time, so I mean this is an easy problem, so hopefully you enjoy the story. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy the story, and also if you have you ever been in a similar situation. But yeah, basically at that time I was fully aware of everything around me, in the sense that like I won't exaggerate the odds. In the sense that like I wasn't probably gonna die, but I was basically, I mean there's no other way to get back, and I had to climb this hill. There was a couple of parts where if you do bouldering, you would notice the grading for the difficulty is that yeah, I was doing like I mean I want to say yeah, like I was doing basically I would say hard V2s up the mountain, and there were a couple of places where you just have to be really careful of your foot placement. It was technically more of a trail on the foot side, but it was just so very thin, and I was basically like my hands were on the thing. I had to like basically like almost like a crab walk my way through a lot of it. And like I said, I don't exaggerate the odds, but definitely it was like a tangible thing, right? Because while the drop wasn't that big, it was still like a good 30 to 40 feet. I don't know what that is in meters. Let me I know I have a lot of like 12 meters, is it? Yeah, like 12-13 meters. So not like crazy high, but also high enough that you can get injured. And I was in a no man's land. I don't at that time, because this was 7-8 years ago, the reception in that area was not good. I actually went back recently, or like last year, I suppose, recently, and the reception was great. But 7-8 years ago, the reception wasn't good. I literally recorded something on my phone. I mean, like if you found this, give this to my parents. And it was just me, like, just in case something happened. So, and I think at that time I was fully aware that like it wasn't like a huge percentage. I was confident of myself. I was confident of my abilities. But let's say maybe there's 10% of death. I mean, how many times do you in life are you in a 10% death situation, right? That's pretty high. That's almost like a Russian roulette high, right? There's about but my point there isn't to kind of like show this off or whatever, and I hope it doesn't come off that way. It's actually it was very irresponsible of me. I wasn't intended to go there. I just kind of walked around and I saw some people hiked up, or I thought they were hiked up, and they told me that it was an easy trail, and I just trusted them because I was, I don't know, and maybe it was for them, but in either case, I don't know, or maybe I took the wrong way. I don't know. I couldn't find another way, but maybe I did take the wrong way. Yeah, it was very irresponsible of me, but and in that moment, it was also a gift because I realized, like I said, no one knows who they, or maybe not no one, obviously, but you don't know who you are until this happens to you, right? Like how you react to it. And I found myself actually in a very good place of serenity, you know? I was just like, okay. I was very calm. Maybe my palms were a little bit sweaty, but like I'm saying that because my palms are a little bit sweaty now thinking about it again. Honestly, it was yeah, it was a little bit too thrilling for me. And that's also why, you know, sometimes people ask me like, why do I train so much for, you know, in the gym, in the rock climbing gym and running and all these things is honestly, in a way, everything I'm training for is because I almost died to it in the past. So maybe I am too close to death from a lot of things. Like why am I running a marathon? Well, once I got stuck in the top of a mountain and I was 18 miles away from civilization, and it wasn't a run, it was a walk, but it was still kind of sketch. That trip it turned out okay because I was rescued by an Iranian tour group and they were just very friendly to me, and they actually fed me too, so it was great. Anyway, but that's a different story. But yeah, it's just such a gift to know who you are in the situations where you're stressed, right? And not everyone handles it well, like you see on TV or whatever. Some people stress out, some people freak out, some people are tense, some people are whatever. And yeah, and I think that was pretty nice for me. And that's why, you know, and like I said, it's not everything being the same, but that's why I say about Leetcode contests sometimes, right? Is that do them because if you do stress over them, it is in a way it is good, right? Because that means that now you are simulating something that you actually care about and how you performed into that situation, right? Whether it's, you know, if you perform better under pressure, if you perform worse, then now you can kind of, you know, maybe even work on mental tricks to be like, okay, you know, like telling yourself mentally certain things so that your body will calm down or get excited depending on what you need to do and so forth. Anyway, yeah, that's just a very long intro. This is 12 minutes. My apologies, but story time. Hopefully that was good, or at least you enjoy it. And I actually, okay, I think, yeah. I was going to say that I probably have videos and stuff like that from that trip, but maybe another time if people remind me once in a while, or if they find it interesting enough to hear me tell, you know, that story with different details or whatever. Anyway, this is an easy problem, so this will stay easy. Hopefully, and hope, you know, you enjoy watching it. Anyway, let's take a look at today's problem. We have 1331, rank transform of an array. Given an array of integers are, replace each element with its rank. The rank represents how large the element is. The rank has the following rules. Rank 1 is 1. The larger the element, the larger the rank. Okay, that makes sense. The two elements are the same. The rank must be the same. Ranks should be... Okay, so I mean, this is just greedy. But this is actually a very good practice because basically, you know, I think for a lot of problems in the... and it is something of a technique that comes up a lot, or at least... Maybe not on Leetcode as much, honestly, but at least on code force type problem, it is definitely a technique that comes up enough that I think if you're working to be like I don't remember the levels, but like if you are looking to be a high ranked coder on code force, for example, this is something that you should be very familiar with and something that you should think about pretty much almost every time that you have problems that are a little bit big. And what I mean by that is this idea of coordinates compression, right? The idea behind coordinate compression is that when you have problems, and this is unrelated to this particular problem, this problem is of the implementation of coordinates compression, is that you have a list of things where the relative position matters, but the space between the gaps don't matter, right? Like for example, what I mean is that for this one, I mean, you just look at the examples here. It doesn't matter, you know, if you're looking, maybe in some problems, it doesn't matter where, you know, 10 is 40 and 10, the difference of 40 and 10 doesn't matter. All we care is that this is the first element and this is the fourth element, right? This could be 4 billion and it doesn't matter because it's still the fourth element, for example. So that's really the idea behind this. And I do bring it up a lot. And place that comes up, for example, is if you have like if you have a data structure that only takes input from 1 to n or 0 to n minus 1 or something like this, but your range of numbers is actually goes from 1 to 10 to the 9 for something like this. Well, in that case, if you're able to, if you don't need live queries, you can use coordinate compression. And this data structure, for example, could be what you might call it, what's it called? Binary index tree. Yeah, binary index tree, and then the other thing with the segment tree, right, is one thing that it sometimes comes into play when you need those things, when only the relative rank matter. So definitely, you know, and you should be able to write as a result. I mean, this is the easy, so you should be able to write it quickly anyway. But you should be able to kind of think of it and write in like a couple of lines and in those problems, this is probably not the focus of the problem generally, so you should be able to kind of recognize and do this very quickly. There are a couple of ways to do it, really. I think enumerate array returns index x, right? So we have this, right? The idea is that we want to sort by x. Yeah, right. So maybe you have a R2. I'm lazy with the naming, right? Yeah, and the thing is that you do want to keep the index, so that because the index is important for this particular problem, because that is your output. You need to kind of remap it back to the output, right? So we append array 2 with a lazy name, just x and index. It doesn't actually matter that much how you append it, as long as you're consistent, because we're sorting anyway. So then now we sort by x. And then now we know that for x, which we don't care about, the previous index in enumerate array 2, and of course this actually gives you a new index, right? So you have index on top of this. Yeah. So then now you can say answer is equal to none times n, where n is length of the array, and I feel like I'm already doing this a little bit sloppily, but yeah, again, this x doesn't matter, so we'll do it without. The previous index is equal to this index, except for it's +1 because it's 1 based. You could also, I think there's like a start thing for this, so you don't need to. But I always forget if it's called start or something, so I just usually, I mean, it's easy to add +1 anyway. So we can look it up if necessary. Oh, I messed this up one. Yeah, I talk about how this is important and necessary, and then I forgot that this, in this case, the numbers are not unique. So basically you have this, which, and not, I mean, this is the one obvious example, but there are other ones, like with 10 appears twice, has to have the same one, right? So actually what you want is, this is one way to do it when all the things are unique, but when it's not unique, which okay. I just feel dumb because I'm like talking about all these things, and then I'm like, let's do it this way. The other way to do it is just by having a lookup table. Basically, the idea here is that then here, we don't need the index, right? So, yeah, I mean, there are a couple of ways you can do it, really. But yeah, here maybe you can write it as, you know, in sorted set of array, and then enumerate this, right? So then now we can map the lookup, because basically the set now just remove the dupes, we sort it so it is in increasing order, or non-decreasing, as they say, monotonically increasing, and then now the index is the new number, and we can just use the start is equal to 1, but now we know that lookup of x is equal to index, and then for the answer we can just go through it for x in array, array.append lookup of x, and that should be good hopefully this time. Did I mess up? I mean, apparently, but man, this is embarrassing. I'm giving such a big deal about like how important this is, but oh, I put array. That's why, because basically it was appending to itself. Wow, that's just a silly typo. I don't know who I am today. Well, I'm today the guy who ran 12 miles and failed. I mean, I end up doing 12 miles anyway, but it was like just like I took more breaks in between than I normally do. But I did do everything in, I don't know. But yeah, okay. I mean, this is fine. But yeah, it's been 4 years, almost 5 years for this one. But yeah, cool. That's all I have for this one. I mean, this is going to be linear time, linear space. Oh, I lied because of the sorting. And log n time, linear space. I can't get anything right today. So this is just one of those days. But in any case, yeah. You know what the famous saying goes, if you like me at my best or something, you don't want to serve me at my worst. I don't know what that, I don't care. Anyway, that's all I have though. I am going to do a bonus one, hopefully clean up my thinking cap or whatever. Stay good, stay healthy, take your mental health. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye-bye.